In the spring of 1956, a 5-year-old boy in Lebanon woke up screaming in terror. He begged his mother to take him to a village 25 miles away, claiming he wasn't her son but a man named Ibrahim who had been murdered there. At first, his family dismissed his cries as the ramblings of a frightened child, but his insistence grew relentless. When they finally took him to the village, the boy walked to a specific house and declared it was his own. He pointed to an elderly man and said, "You were my best friend." He then described, in chilling detail, the moment of his murder and named his killer, someone still living in the village. Confronted with the boy's uncanny knowledge, the villagers confirmed every word. The accused killer fled and was never seen again. Stories like this are not rare. They're scattered across continents, whispered in hushed tones, and dismissed by skeptics. But what if they're more than coincidences? What if these accounts, some verified with disturbing accuracy, point to a truth far more profound than we dare to believe? Reincarnation, a concept so ancient it predates recorded history. Yet, it's also a phenomenon investigated by modern science. Dr. Ian Stevenson, a psychiatrist from the University of Virginia, spent over 40 years documenting more than 3,000 cases of children recalling past lives. His meticulous work uncovered bizarre patterns. Children born with birthmarks matching fatal wounds from their supposed past lives, memories of languages they were never taught, and connections so precise they defy explanation. And here's the paradox. While nearly every culture, from the Dogon people of Africa to the Aboriginal Australians, has its own take on reincarnation, their stories, rituals, and beliefs often conflict. Some see it as a cosmic punishment, others as a sacred path to enlightenment. Which interpretation, if any, holds the key to understanding this mystery? But the implications don't stop there. If reincarnation is real, what does it say about our individuality? Are we bound by karma, condemned to repeat our mistakes, or is each life a blank slate? And if we're reborn, what happens to the people we've loved, the identities we've crafted, and the lessons we've learned? Does it all disappear? Or is there a thread connecting us across lifetimes? In this video, we'll dive beyond surface-level speculation into the depths of reincarnation's most profound mysteries. Through science, philosophy, and ancient wisdom, we'll unravel how this belief shapes our understanding of morality, existence, and the eternal question. What does it truly mean to live and to die? 3,000 years ago, an Egyptian priest whispered prayers into the darkness, believing his soul was preparing for another journey. In ancient Greece, Pythagoras claimed he could recall not one, but 4 of his past lives. Meanwhile, in India, sages built entire philosophies around the cycle of life and death, describing it as a cosmic wheel endlessly turning. Reincarnation, the idea that our essence transcends death to live again, has captivated the human imagination for millennia. But it's more than a myth or belief. From meticulous spiritual systems to eerie, verifiable cases, reincarnation is a tapestry woven from cultural wisdom, philosophical inquiry, and even scientific curiosity. What if the end of life isn't the end at all? The first whispers of reincarnation rise from the sands of ancient Egypt. While their beliefs didn't center on reincarnation as we know it, they believed in an eternal journey of the soul. The Ka, or life force, would navigate the afterlife, facing trials and transformations, hinting at the idea of continuity beyond death. In Greece, Pythagoras and his followers introduced the idea of metempsychosis, the migration of the soul through different bodies, including animals. Plato expanded this, weaving it into his grand theories of morality and cosmic justice. The soul, he argued, reincarnates to learn and purify itself, a process repeated until it achieves ultimate understanding. But no civilization developed reincarnation as intricately as India. The Vedic texts, written around 1500 BCE, laid the foundation for samsara, the endless cycle of rebirth, governed by karma. Here, reincarnation wasn't just a possibility. It was the rule governing existence itself. In Hinduism, reincarnation is a path defined by karma, a ledger of actions that shapes your future lives. Each existence is a step on the journey toward moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. It's not just a spiritual goal. It's the ultimate purpose of existence. Buddhism takes a more radical approach. The Buddha rejected the idea of a permanent soul, teaching instead about anatta, or non-self. Rebirth occurs, but it's not you who returns. It's the karmic imprint of your actions. Liberation, or nirvana, is the cessation of this cycle, a state beyond comprehension where existence itself dissolves. Jainism offers another perspective. It views karma not as an abstract force, but as a physical substance that clings to the soul, weighing it down through countless rebirths. Through extreme discipline, Jains seek to purify the soul and escape samsara. Sikhism, blending reincarnation with monotheistic principles, emphasizes that liberation isn't earned solely through actions but also granted by divine grace. Beyond India, the echoes of reincarnation reverberate across continents. Among the Hopi people of North America, reincarnation is intertwined with ancestral guidance, where departed souls return to protect their descendants. In Africa, the Yoruba believe in Atunwa, the rebirth of souls within families to complete unfinished destinies. The Maori of Oceania weave reincarnation into their connection to the land, believing that ancestors are reborn not just in human form but in nature itself, trees, rivers, and mountains. In Abrahamic traditions, reincarnation is largely absent, yet it lingers in subtle ways. Jewish mysticism speaks of Gilgul, the cycle of soul transmigration, while early Christian sects like the Gnostics once entertained ideas of rebirth. Even in Islam, though reincarnation is officially rejected, some Sufi interpretations hint at the soul's journey across lifetimes. Reincarnation isn't a monolith. In some cultures, it's a blessing, a chance for spiritual evolution. In others, it's a burden, a karmic debt to be repaid. Hinduism's samsara is deeply moral, emphasizing justice through karma. Buddhism's interpretation removes the ego entirely, offering a more impersonal, almost mechanical view of the cycle. Meanwhile, indigenous beliefs often tie reincarnation to communal harmony, where the soul's journey serves the greater good of the tribe or family. These variations challenge us to consider deeper questions. Is reincarnation a punishment, a reward, or simply a neutral mechanism for balance? Does it even have a purpose, or is it a byproduct of existence itself? The belief in reincarnation doesn't just shape spiritual practices, it transforms societies. In India, it justified the caste system for centuries, linking one's social status to past life karma. In Tibet, the search for reincarnated spiritual leaders like the Dalai Lama forms the backbone of religious leadership. Reincarnation also changes how we view life and death. In cultures where rebirth is embraced, death isn't feared. It's seen as a transition. Rituals honor not just the departed but their next journey, creating a profound connection between the living and the dead. And in modern times, the idea of reincarnation fuels practices like mindfulness, ethical living, and even ecological consciousness. After all, if life is a cycle, then every action carries consequences far beyond this lifetime. Reincarnation is more than a belief. It's a lens through which humanity explores its deepest fears and hopes, its connection to the cosmos, and its longing for meaning. It forces us to ask, is life truly a fleeting moment or part of an eternal story? What if this isn't your first life? And what if it's not your last?